Hello students, welcome back to the class. Last class we have discussed about the safeguard of rights. In that safeguards of rights we have discussed about two important elements which can able to protect the rights of the citizens. Okay, one is we have discussed democracy form of government, democratic rule, and next one written constitution. So in the last class we have said that in democracy country most of the rights can be able to protect. Okay, in the written constitution we have discussed that in written constitution, in the rigid constitutions will maintain some restrictions and some limitations to the government, and the process to change the constitution is so difficult, so that constitution is called rigid constitution. In this form of constitution, the process to change the rules and regulation is quite difficult. Now we will discuss about some other elements which is very important to safeguard the rights. I will go forward. First important element, if you see, now already we know that individual rights should be protected and individual rights should be safeguarded. If the individual rights are protected and safeguarded, they can enjoy the freedom, they can enjoy the independent, okay, they can develop, okay, from all the sphere of life they can able to develop themselves. Rights are very important for the individual. Now some elements we have discussed already. Now I am continuing third one, fourth, fifth. These are the three important elements. First one, if the citizens' rights to be protected, the constitution incorporation should be done. Okay, constitution incorporation. Incorporation means what? Inclusion. When you are including something in the constitution, that is called constitution incorporation. When you are including some rights in the constitution, then that is called as constitution incorporation. So if rights, most of the rights are included in constitutions only, but there are some rights should be made as legal rights. Okay, fundamental rights are incorporated by the law. Okay, they are mainly protected by the legal process. So whatever the rights where the legal process, okay, to protect the rights of the citizens, if they incorporate legal process, okay, so that is called as constitutional incorporations. When you are including a part as a whole in the constitution. So here if you see, incorporation of fundamental rights should be in the constitution. When the fundamental rights will be incorporated in the constitution, so legal process, if the rights are violated, the citizens can able to take the support of law also. Okay, so this most of the fundamental rights should be incorporated in the constitution. So what will happen if these rights will become the legal laws? In that condition, the government also cannot violate the rights of the citizens. So next point is, this can able to prevent encroachment of individual rights even by government. Even the government cannot, encroachment means interfering in the life of individual. So there is no interference of government also when the fundamental rights, at present the fundamental rights are protected by legal process. Most of the fundamental rights are of the citizens are well protected by the legal procedure. So already the fundamental rights has been incorporated. If the fundamental rights will be incorporated, the citizens' rights will be well protected by the law. If the citizens' rights are violated even by the government also, the citizens can approach court. Here also these rights cannot be violated or encroached by even government when the incorporation, fundamental rights will be incorporated in the constitution. So these rights, these incorporations will protect the rights of individuals with a great extent. So one point they are saying, fundamental rights have been incorporated in our constitution. So what is the advantages when these rights are incorporated? So legally they will protect the fundamental rights of the citizen. Legal process are used to protect the rights of the citizens. If by chance if the citizens are not getting the fundamental rights, they can go to court. When the fundamental rights will be incorporated in constitution, then even the government also cannot able to intrude. Government also cannot make intrusions of citizens' right. So government also cannot able to interfere in the rights of the citizens. Government also cannot exploit that rights. So intrusions are incorporation of fundamental rights protect the rights of the citizens to a great extent. Okay. Second important thing is separation of power. Power should be separated. Okay. So, in India if you see that we have nearly 3 organs. For power should be separated for 3 organs. 3 organs means we know already. One is legislature, one is called as executive, and one is called as judiciary. Legislature, executive, judiciary. So, these are the 3 organs of the constitution: legislature, executive, judiciary. So, legislature will make the law, executive they will implement the law, and judiciary they will protect the law. Separation of power. These organs, the powers of these organs should be separated. So, that is called separation of power. Okay. So, what will happen? See, the Measures Act, whenever the powers will be separated, what will happen? Each and every organs they can able to check against each other. They can able to critically they will check against each other. So, legislature will check to executive whether the executive functioning well or not. Executive will check the judiciary, only checking I am saying, not interfering. Legislature will never interfere in the matter of executive. Executive will never interfere in the matter of judiciary, because powers in these 3 organs were separated. Advantage what is? Legislature can able to check the organ of executive, just checking, not interfering in the activity. So, ultimately if you see that the services also will be safeguarded, the rights will be safeguarded, individual liberty will be safeguarded. When it will happen? When the powers are separated, when the powers were distributed separately among 3 organs. One is called legislature, executive, judiciary. In these 3 organs, when the powers are distributed and separated, there are many advantages. First advantage is they never interfere in the other activities. Okay, legislature will never interfering in the matter, executive will never interfere in the matter of judiciary. Each are independent and each can exercise their own power. Second thing, they can check against each other. I said only check. They can check against each other. And next important point is this separation of powers can able to prevent tyranny. Tyranny means unfair treatment. So, one organs cannot able to treat unfairly upon the other organ. So, executive cannot able to treat unfairly upon the judicial organ. So, this is the 3 important advantages when the separations of powers are distributed equally. So, here we seen that in India also we have 3 organs: legislature, executive, judiciary. You know, legislature will make the law, executive will implement the law, judiciary will protect the law. So, here if you see the powers are quite separated. So, first advantage will come is these organs will check against each other, whether executive is functioning well or not, judiciary functioning well or not, checking. Okay, I said only they will check. Okay, this is the first important thing which will happen. Second thing is by using the separation of power, individual liberty will be protected. Okay, executive can act independently. Okay, judiciary can act freely. Okay, and legislature can act freely. So, that is the advantages. Whenever the powers are distributed separately, each and every organs can act individually. They can act. Individual liberty can able to promote. One more advantage is when the powers are distributed equally separately, one organ cannot able to interfere with another organ. So, one organ cannot able to interfere in the activities of other organ, and by which what happen, the cruel treatment, tyranny, which can able to prevent tyranny. Tyranny is nothing but a cruel treatment, okay, or cruel attitude by one organ towards other organ can be able to prevent, because here this organ is separate, their works are separated. If legislature is separate, their works are separate, judiciary is separate, their works are separate. So, if organs are not these 3 organs will never interfere the activity, they will check against each other. Okay, they will suggest some measurement, suggest some improvements. Okay, and each and every organs can able to prevent cruel treatment or tyranny against each other. This is the important. Power should be, when the powers are distributed equally, then what will happen? Each independency also will increase, individual freedom or individual liberty of the organs automatically will increase. So, they can act freely, okay, without having any restrictions. What will happen if all the powers are wasted under the control of one? So they can't able to exercise the power, okay, easily. They can't manage problem also one thing. They can't able to manage legislature, executive, judiciary. So and if it interfere in the activities of these three organs, they cannot function properly. And this is a very good thing, that if you wanted to protect the rights, separation of power is important. So power should be distributed among legislature, executive, judiciary. Legislature will act independently, executive will act independently, judiciary will act independently. One organ never interfere in the activities of other organ. Okay, this can able to prevent cruel treatment or tyranny, etc. Now next important thing is decentralization of power. This is the next point. Children, I already said, we have discussed also what is meant by decentralization of power. Whenever the powers are distributed equally, okay, among different organs, whenever the powers are distributed equally among different organs, that is called decentralization of power. Power should be distributed equally. If there is only power vested under the control of one single hand, centralization of power, so other persons unable to get freedom, okay, it will be just like monarchy then. So all the power should be distributed equally, so that they internal freedom also, internal liberty automatically will increase and develop. They also feel freely, they can able to exercise their work. So here decentralization means individuals enjoy power. First individual should be given power, then only he will feel completely freedom. So powers must be decentralized by the government institution. In government institutions also, government organizations also, distribution of power should be done. Okay, distribution of power should be done. So what will happen if the powers are distributed equally? First of all, rights will be protected, corruptions will be under control. Okay, next we will go forward. Now whenever the distribution of power will be done, power should be distributed at national level, power should be distributed at provisional level, in the sense state level, power should be distributed at local level, and power will be distributed at territorial basis. So in 4 level power should be distributed. So that is called decentralization of power, distribution of power from the national level, state level, local level, mandal level, territorial level, etc. So like that we have to distribute the power. So what we have discussed? First we have discussed about the constitutional incorporation, and separation of power and decentralization plays very important role to protect the rights of the citizen. So fundamental rights should be incorporated in the constitution. If the fundamental rights will be incorporated, people rights will be protected legally, okay, and citizens can able to enjoy the rights easily cannot be violated. Even the government cannot encroach or intrude the rights of the citizens, and citizens rights will be protected easily. At not only the some extent, great extent, the citizens rights will be protected. Next we have discussed the separation of power. In the separation of power, what we have discussed, power should be separated between the 3 organs. Power should be separated between the legislature, executive, judiciary. So what will happen if the powers are separated equally? Then each and every organs can check critically, they can check against each other, okay, this is one thing. And each and every organs will unable to interfere in the activity. One organ will never interfere in the activity of other. So this can able to prevent tyranny. So every time, suppose if you are interfering, what will happen? If you interfere, then what will happen? A cruel treatment will form, okay, people abuse, okay, cruel treatment will be, and the relations also will completely spoils. So involvement and interference should be very less. And if one organs will not interfere in the other organs, what will happen? They can able to prevent tyranny, okay, cruel treatment or unfair treatment, etc. So this is one point. Okay, now decentralization of power we have seen. Decentralization of power means individuals enjoy the power. When the individuals can enjoy the power to the great extent, when the powers are completely decentralized, even in the government institution, and the powers are distributed nearly at 4 level, allocation of power, national level, provisional level, local level, territorial basis, etc. Okay, students, we are discussing about the point separation of safeguards of rights. Okay, safeguard of right we have discussed. Okay, in the next class we will discuss about some 6th and 7th elements. What are the 6th and 7th elements for safeguarding the rights? Thank you very much. We will meet you in the next class, students.